Hello, welcome to the Wasteland Podcast. We've been gone for a while, but now we're back. My name's Oliver Giles, and your name is?
My name's Ben Rose.
Thank you for not missing the cue. I legitimately thought halfway through I did not prep you for this. Are you going to miss the cue? Nope, absolute professional. Thank you for making that one. All right, good.
I'm a professional actor.
Yes, very much so. Anyway, yep, I'm Oliver Giles. He's Ben Rose, and we are the Wasteland Podcast crew. And we said we were going to be doing monthly ones, and then we recorded one which, for whatever reason, Final Cut Pro decided to bitch out on me and I couldn't export it properly. So the last one we actually recorded that got ever published was the live one we did in January.
Wait. Okay, that was kind of for the best. The last one that we did was, so we should be talking about, okay, so there's a couple of stuff we actually do need.
I realized I didn't put Taylor Hawkins anywhere on the slide. That's sad. Okay.
Who's Potato Hawkins?
Taylor Hawkins, what? Right? The drummer for the Foo Fighters who died.
Oh shit!
I was gonna mention. I was gonna mention that in my media slide when I mentioned like the rock playlist. I was gonna mention it here just in case I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Well, we will mention it at some point because it's very.
Also, I don't think we're gonna record another one this month. We might, but we might not. However, I'm pretty sure it's the 21st of this month. Is 2 years of the Waste of Time podcast. 21st of April.
Holy shit!
How has it been 2 years since lockdown? Like, oh. Like, yeah, we wasted so much time.
No, yeah.
As much time as much time we've wasted as the people like watching this, the amount of time we wasted recording them, we wasted. I think we should take this time to talk about some of the stuff that never actually made it to air.
Oh god.
We had a couple episodes that got canned because of Viasat.
We had that one episode where both of us were really tired, and then I went out to get a package. And then it took like
that was episode 22, I believe, and there's actually one part of that episode that does still exist. The screenshot of your two small headphones is on the Instagram page somewhere.
The one, and then the one that you edited the joint onto. That's the one, right?
That was from. I think it might have been from earlier.
That was just something that you like sent me a picture of your face. I was like, okay, and then you just edited the joint.
Are you talking about the one they made into animation, like with all the smoke and like the calm music?
Yes.
The technical difficulties one. I think that was from earlier because I seem to remember editing that back in Watsonville on my phone, like back when I had like all those editing apps on my phone during lockdown.
I swear I was in school at the time when that was taken.
Well, I mean, we were in school. We were still in high school when we started this podcast. It was in April.
No, I mean like Irvine,
Oh, that's actually no. I think you're right. Again.
Wait, holy shit!
Quarantine made me lose track of time and everything.
We legitimately went to college. What the fuck?
Yeah, we were still going to college.
I mean, speak for yourself, but like, I'm kidding. I'm going to college, guys.
But like, it's really crazy just how quarantine warps our perception of time. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember not being able to walk when I had that like gout flare up. That was oh shit, that was 2 years ago.
Didn't we not talk about that on the podcast though?
No, we did. We didn't talk about it until I knew for sure what it was.
I
don't really care if people know. Oh yeah, I've got gout. That's what things that happen. Things happen in this world and we get through them.
Did you know that the main component that causes gout is the same thing that's in snail poop?
Did not know that.
Also,
for me, I just know it's genetic.
It's also their piss. Like a lot of animals don't actually piss. They just poop out uric acid, which also causes gout in humans. Does anybody want some snake shit?
Great, Ben. That's great to know. Because we should talk about the things that never made it to air. So things that made it to air. We had a couple episodes that got canned because there was that one episode. I think it was the original. I think it was probably the first one we originally talked about, DC Fandom, which was 2020, got canned because there was about 30 seconds of delay because of Viasat.
I think that I was not.
And also, you were like half asleep during that one, so it wasn't a good recording anyway. We had the one where I've not slept
I don't know anything about DC.
No, I know. But the thing is, like, we had the one where I'd not slept for like 30 hours at that point. It was really funny to listen to. Like, it was hilarious. But as far as being a podcast, it was not good. It was bad. Oh, God. That was also the one that...
A lot of our episodes, it's just like we have really good conversations, but it's just like so scatterbrained and so all...
Right. Although I think that one that I was like really
consume this content.
The one I just got a message saying your connection's unstable. Ben, I think your internet's going bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my video.
Fair point. But yeah, so I think that one. See, we had that one in I think it was like late May. Yeah, like late May in 2020, because I was still in high school. I remember I'd not slept because I was doing finals at the time.
Yes.
That was also the episode that I'm glad we never aired this one. My now very regrettable Asian voice. I just made a joke.
Oh, I remember that one. Thank God.
I just made it. No, I think the thing is, like, we had like a really weird discussion about anime and how I don't know why we were discussing anime because I don't watch anime.
Neither do I, which is also kind of funny.
I think
we were discovering how weird weebs are. I think that was. I think
it led to a discussion of how over enunciated like American it was like English dubs of anything, but specifically Japanese animes are. And so it led to like my really weird voice that kind of went from just impersonation of overacting to an accidental Asian voice, which I'm glad we did not air that.
Thank God. You don't even have to put that in the final episode of this podcast. That's kind of...
I'm gonna put it in there just because it's funny as hell.
Oh,
I think it's like at the time it was funny. It wasn't meant to be offensive, but also looking back on it now, it was. I'm glad they never made it to air.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty sure we were very tired at the time, which doesn't excuse it, but also like
warped sense of judgment. Yeah,
it explains it, right?
Yeah.
So thankfully, we will not be making those jokes or references anymore.
No.
We will only be making very, very, very unfunny puns.
Yep.
And references to.
I'm surprised that the Drunk podcast made it to air though.
Which one?
The British one, the Going Global, episode 27.
Only had a lot of cider that night.
Yeah, I had like those cans were. I think those ones were only 4% alcohol, so it wasn't like.
Is your drink of choice apple cider? Or
not
cider?
If I can't get a, then yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Coke Grenadine rum.
Oh, like a Shirley Temple, but shit.
Nah, not really. It's like cherry Coke with alcohol.
Okay. I don't want cherry Coke.
But yeah, some other stuff. But yeah, like, I'm surprised we managed to air the Drunk podcast just because, I was very sensible.
Yeah,
I think the only thing that got cut from that was about 30 minutes of discussion about beans on toast.
Wait, are you sure you were actually drunk? Because you seemed normal.
I don't get like I'm one of the Hemingway types. I don't like get like super different when I'm drunk. So I was somewhat. I can assure you I was, even though I didn't really sound like it. Also, Ben, did you know that in Minecraft, baby zombies can ride other zombies?
Oh, well, I didn't know that until just now, but thank you for letting me know. I can be 2 times as scared now.
Anyway.
Oh,
so yeah. Anything else we did that didn't make it to air, Ben?
Oh my God. Besides just that one where your editor took forever, I think like
that wasn't her. It's I took forever to send her the files.
And then the corrupted files that one time.
Well, no, one of the files I sent her because I sent it to her in segments just to make it easier to edit. Because trying to find the segment divides in our podcast is a nightmare. I accidentally corrupted some of the files when I sent it to her, so that was on me.
There was also that one time when I was like, hey, Oliver, maybe we shouldn't do potato recording. And then I tried with Zoom, and then
oh God, yeah, that was so awful.
Because it was an MP4.
Yeah,
but it was just because people started hearing my actual microphone quality, which is just ass. Like, I just have a really bad microphone.
Kind of off topic, but I was rewatching some of the Rooster Teeth podcasts from quarantine, and there was one where Gavin from Rooster Teeth essentially used a $1.6 million webcam.
Okay.
Did I ever send you that video clip?
The 4K one?
What?
The 4K one?
Did I ever send you that one? That clip of that?
You did.
He used his cinema quality, his actual cinema quality slow motion video camera, which is like $1.6 million as a webcam.
Yeah. Was it good?
Oh, it was 4K. It was 4K quality.
That's it. $1,000 for a 4K. I could pay $150 for a 4K.
It's also the same type of camera they use in like actual movies for slow motion shots.
Oh.
It does like it can go. I think it's like somewhere like several 100,000 frames per second.
But can't you?
It's like a professional high-speed camera. Anyway. Yes. Anyway, so going over that. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun over the last 2 years recording this podcast. We covered a lot of heavy topics. Episode 7 was really, really heavy. I remember that being a thing.
Yeah.
But I think overall we've managed to put a positive spin on a lot of things, and even when discussing heavy things, we managed to keep it pretty lighthearted, which is good. I'm I'm sorry episodes have not been more regular because college schedules are a nightmare, even when things are going right. And just it's also like it's finding time to record that works both our schedules because we were going to do something over spring break, but then we both had like personal stuff in our lives that came up that stopped us from recording over spring break. And then as well as that, it's also just the editing that takes a long time for this podcast too.
But also it's literally called the Waste of Time Podcast. Don't expect like a regular schedule. Like
we used to have a weekly upload schedule. We missed 1 week.
But that's because we had summer, and it was like it didn't matter. But
it was summer, and then it was also a couple months of school where nothing happened because it was quarantine.
Yeah, but even when we had school, we still weren't as regular.
No,
which is like that's how it goes.
Well, I mean, actually, I took a look back at it when I was preparing for this podcast, and we started in late April, and up until I went off to college, we only missed one deadline.
I remember that.
That was just because I had like a bunch of stuff going on. I think that's when I had the whole gout thing. I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Can't really focus on stuff right now.
Yeah, honestly, but then I kind of like the schedule we have now, which is like we can record whenever the fuck we feel like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like the pressure.
Exactly. I feel like
I still have a little bit of pressure on my end to upload them in a timely manner, especially when I do Xbox deals of the week. Which that was originally a device to make me stick to my upload schedule, and it worked. Yeah. Anyway, so this has been it's really fun talking about the last 2 years of the podcast. I still think one of my favorite podcasts was the live podcast we did.
Yes, because we got that one comment that was about interviewing Joe Rogan. That was a great comment.
All we homies fuck with Bend, Oregon.
Oh my god. But yeah, I like the in-person podcast too. But it's not like we can do those.
If I ever actually get compared to Joe Rogan, I'm gonna stick a bunch of nails in my mouth and punch the flat ends.
Don't worry, we are nothing like Joe Rogan. We're not on DMT, and we're also not losers.
Yeah.
Oh, also we can be funny.
Yeah. Sorry, speaking of Joe Rogan, actually, I'll bring it up in the media segment. Never mind. It's not actually about him, but anyway. So let's move on to our what do we even call this? It's not life in lockdown anymore. It's life in college, I guess.
Life in cock. I mean, yes, life in.
Excuse me.
College.
You want to say that again, Ben?
Sorry. Let me say it again. Life in cockdown. Yeah. You happy? Are you happy?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyway, Ben, you want to go? Let's start with a general topic. So summer plans. I know it's a bit early, but I created these slides about an hour before we started this podcast, so I had nothing to put on this. I mean, you know what? Summer plans.
I'm not going to lie, Oliver. My summer is going to be the most boring thing in the world. This is just going to be really boring topics. Sorry.
That's fine. I mean, most of the podcast is, so.
It's facts. It is a waste of time after all.
Yeah.
But I am going to be staying in Irvine over summer, and I can actually confidently say that this time.
Oh, you are?
And I'm doing this not on purpose. I'm only doing this because I can have great research opportunities this summer. And very importantly, I am taking classes.
I might see you at some point this summer because I'm going to be in Southern California for a couple of days in LA in the Irvine area, so I might see you at some point.
Wait, like actually Irvine?
Just in that general area, and I can absolutely make a point just to stop by Irvine and say hi to you at some point. Because I'm going down so kind of bridging into my summer topics here. Going down to LA for a couple of days. Plans include the 7-Eleven when they filmed Jesus of Suburbia.
Okay, isn't that in Oakland?
No, it's in LA. I looked it up.
God, of course.
They could not film that video in Oakland. It's just too many permits to film in Oakland like that. But so there's that one in LA. Griffith Observatory is always a good one. I want to take a look at that. It seems like a really cool thing. And then also Peterson Auto Museum, and I'm also going to an Angels game.
Okay, well,
I could have gone to see a Dodgers game, but I don't want to go see a Dodgers game.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But basically, Oliver, if you're going to Irvine, the number one thing to do in Irvine, apparently, is the Irvine Spectrum Center. And then the second thing, which is a mall, by the way. And then the second most popular thing to do in Irvine is the Ferris wheel at the Irvine Spectrum Center, which is a mall, by the way. So just prepare yourself. It's
Irvine sounds like that's kind of like describing the Watsonville Tourism Board. We have a library. We have a library that's also our city hall.
We have a
city council office buildings.
We have a city hall, which is ass. It's just a disgusting looking city hall.
How weird is it to remember that not 11, 5 years ago was 2017.
Not weird at all. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not weird at all.
I mean, it's been 5 years since the Watson vlog.
Oh.
That's the perspective I'm talking about. Also,
right.
Ben, where are all those videos? I'd like to rewatch them, please.
They have been privated.
Can you send me like a doc?
I already sent you the playlist back in the day.
No, you sent me a couple of the video links.
I may or may not have deleted some of them.
Please don't do that.
I did.
Why?
Back in the day, because I was very ashamed of my vlogging past.
When was that? Because I watched them a couple months ago.
Okay, well then, if you watched every single one of them a couple months ago,
yeah,
then they're out there.
I mean, there's still ones that are like the ones. I mean, there's still 2 on my channel. There's the greatest hits compilation of 1 through 4, and then there's also my side of the Watson Vlog 5, which I hate that video, but I don't take it down. That's back when my vlogs were still, I film everything and I put everything on this video.
I remember that. I was like, Oliver, we got to talk about your vlogs. And you're like, no. But that was...
And then I made the Eric... this is actually after that, but at some point I also made the Eric vlog, which is about 2 hours long.
That was like, damn. I watched it. It was actually interesting for some of it.
Some of it was interesting, and some of it I put in there just because I know you hate long videos.
That's exactly. I was like, that fucking sucks. Oliver did this to piss me off. And it was true. But it was a good video.
I know, yeah. I mean, actually, I made like a trimmed down version of that actually got a fair amount of views.
We really, really have made a lot. Oliver, our friendship has been like in the public eye for a very, very long time. Isn't that crazy?
I threw things at you in a pool at one point.
And that was my first video.
Was it really?
It's called Pool Fails.
I was not Oliver on that video. I think it was Jason at that point on mine.
You were Jason because I wanted to keep your identity secret.
You also said it was filmed in Washington.
I did. I said it was my summer home in Washington, which it was not. But you know, I lie. You know, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
And we've had a lot of fun stuff over the years. Anyway, so moving back to summer plans. What else are you doing?
Oh yeah, true. That's it.
Okay, that's so for me,
I have to go back to the city for jury duty.
Late August, the house is gone.
Oh shit! Like
it's been sold. Yep, the house I lived in all my life. Well, apart from my I spent some time in San Francisco. House where this podcast started. House where you spent a lot of time. That's gone this August.
Yeah,
is being
the
sold.
Watson Vlog house. Damn.
That's specifically why I wanted to make like a video of like greatest moments of the house. I know you got a lot of good ones. Like you had some you had some sunrise stuff from the top window of the house I wanted to get a hold of. That was in the vlog.
I think I still have some videos if I can share those with you.
I was about to say, yeah, if you don't have the vlog itself, I was going to say, do you maybe have like a Google Drive dump folder of all the footage from it or something like that anyway? Because like,
I'll check if I
because whenever I get like a new phone, I always create like a Google Drive folder of like all of my favorite videos and photos from my old phone.
Usually it just comes over to my new phone.
I don't pay for iCloud apart from the basic 5 gigs, and I don't.
I also don't. It just backs up to the phone.
I always make a habit to have pretty much a clean phone whenever I get a new one. I don't want to transfer stuff over most of the time. I do pay like $199 a month for 100 gigabytes of OneDrive, but that's worth it because I use that for all the videos I use for my gaming blog, which one of my posts got like 5,000 views in a day. That was cool.
Okay. How many views does it have now?
I think 5,050. I mean, it was my review with the show 22 when that first came out like last week because I got the early access version. So I'll bring up my media slide. So anyway, summer plans. House is sadly going to go away, and I'm going down to LA for a couple of days. That's about it. So moving on now, we can take a look at our personal topics. Ben, you want to go first?
Okay, sure. It's too hot here. It was 101 degrees outside yesterday. I don't like climate change. That was my first topic.
You want to bitch about climate change? It was 95 degrees here yesterday, and today it was hailing.
Oh my God. Okay, well the climate definitely did change. That's for sure.
No, seriously, 101 sounds terrible. Was it humid or was it dry?
It was both. There was the day before was super humid and it was 101. The day after was very dry and it was 101.
I prefer dry heat, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't as muggy. Actually, it might not have been humid. I can't really tell. I guess you can tell when it's not humid, so maybe it was dry.
Was it hard to breathe or not? That's like
it was very, very hard to breathe at some points.
Definitive answer from Ben Rose.
That was my final answer.
At some point, you'll have to come down to Watsonville over the summer for a couple days if you can.
I don't know if I can.
That's what I said. If you can.
No, I want to though. Like I want to say goodbye to that house.
I mean, but you can probably get a flight down to Monterey if you have time. Anyway, we can sort this out off podcast.
We definitely will, but yeah, I would be interested in that.
Oh yeah, of course. So anyway, let's see. Anything else too hot? Spring break.
Oh yeah. So over my spring break, I had a lot of fun because I saw my friends. Except I didn't see Oliver though, which was a little less fun because I didn't see Oliver. But
I was here over spring break. I stayed here because I only had a week.
He went to Medford, Oregon.
I did go to Medford.
What I do? I saw my friends. I saw a friend of mine who I hadn't seen for years, 2 years, and we just like met on a Caltrain. It was so fun. Dude, Caltrain is literally the best thing in the world. I love Caltrain so much. But I figured out that, spring break was great. I got to meet up with some college friends in the city, and it was really nice. Like, excuse me. Imagine if your college friends came over to Watsonville and just like saw the library that's also the city hall. That'd be pretty cool, right?
That's awesome, dude. Yeah,
I know.
My spring break was, I played video games and I did a lot of hiking. I hiked like 70 miles.
That's very cool. I don't
do
honestly. You've been hiking.
Spring break.
Don't worry, Oliver. Don't feel pressured.
I didn't. That's why I didn't do anything.
How many achievements did you get though? That's what really matters.
Oh, let's see. How much did I have in March? In March, I got, I think, like 9,750 gamer score.
Holy
so something like over 100. I spent time. I mean, March was the month I beat. Humble brag here. Ray Narvaez Jr., formerly of Achievement Hunter, now a full-time Twitch streamer in terms of achievements. That was something I tried to do, and I actually did it. But the thing is, I went and downloaded a bunch of shitty free games specifically to get achievements, like Korok.
So that's technically that's cheat. That's gotta be cheating.
I mean, he's done that too. He has achievements in like a game where you pick up recycling. It's actually a really fun game. It's kind of like Slime Rancher. It's kind of like Slime Rancher, but I think it's called like Island Saver. You should get it. It's on the Switch. I think it's free.
Recycling.
It's like Slime Rancher, but you should get it. It's on the Switch. It's actually really fun. I think it's free.
I'll pass.
It's called Island Saver. It's really fun, but it's about recycling. It's all free stuff. So I did a lot of that. I did play a lot of video games, but I also made sure to exercise, so I wasn't a complete waste of space and time to society.
You were just a waste of time
on a podcast.
On the podcast that we are on.
All right, so then moving on to Ben, you found out something today that you told me about when we were trying to set something up that failed before this podcast. We were trying to set up like a Minecraft. You found out about the Warriors NFT. You want to explain that?
So you guys know what an NFT is, a non-fuckable token, right? Clearly,
Shathid.
Somebody decided to take that to heart.
Shathid?
Shathid, indeed. So Shathid, okay, yes. But an NFT is basically a receipt that you pay money for that is worthless. Basically, the Warriors created
the basketball team, right? Just clarifying here.
The Golden State Warriors, the basketball team, Dub Nation, created the team created an NFT, and even worse, they created a Discord server for the NFT, which my friends and I decided that we were going to join, and everybody in is a 40-year-old man. It's so funny. It's so funny.
I wonder how much money they made off that. Like, I wonder how much money the Warriors have made off idiots thinking that NFTs are actually valuable.
Well, they can be valuable, but they're a gamble. They're a huge gamble, and they're not like inherently valuable.
No.
You shouldn't invest in them.
For instance, do not invest in the Rucka Ali NFTs.
Did he do that as a quote joke? Because
he did that and just said anyone who buys this is an absolute.
But he really wanted people to buy it.
I mean, apparently not. Oh, I mean, he's a weird dude. You can never really tell what his actual.
He's a really weird dude. I don't really like him.
I don't know, but anyway, so what's this like? Describe some of what you see on the Discord server then for that.
Just 40-year-old men posting selfies of themselves after selling NFTs.
I've finally started really using Discord. I don't use it all that much. I use it for I'm on the True Achievements Discord. I give achievement guides and stuff like that, and also plug my gaming blog in it quite a bit. I've gotten quite a bit of blog. I've gotten quite a few blog views from that Discord server.
You also messaged me the word ball sack.
Did I do that?
Yes.
I'll message you like on Discord randomly in the middle of class sometimes because I'm bored as hell. Which we'll talk about that in my personal topics.
When I was in I used to be, and by used to be I mean like last week, I used to be in this giant Discord server full of people that were in UCI 2024. That's how I met a lot of my friends. But then I kind of realized that was lame.
Yeah.
And so I left it, and it's been so good. Into Discord, it ruins your life.
Right, Ben, your internet's fading. But yeah.
Oh, sorry. What I was saying was, don't get into Discord; it ruins your life.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Thanks.
Instead of getting into Reddit, and I don't know.
No, don't never. That's like the second worst thing you could do.
No, I don't. No. I mean, I do post. I do post on Reddit sometimes. Like, oh, here's a funny glitch I found in this video, and I'll post it here. And also, I mean, Reddit is useful when looking up how to build things in Minecraft. That's what I use it for, and that's really about it. It's like, oh, cool glitches, and here's building tutorials. Anyway, so I'm going to move on to my topics if you're all done with the words NFT discussion.
Yes.
Spring break, I already talked about that. I didn't really do much. Played a lot of games. Spent like several full days in a Minecraft world, not consecutively, but I did a lot of work in a Minecraft world. Which we were trying to log into before this, but Ben somehow fucked up his privacy settings and he can't join because apparently his account's like 4 years old.
Yep.
Apparently you put parental controls on your own account and now you can't join the server.
On another episode of Ben Blunders, after forgetting Oliver's birthday too. I'm sorry about that.
No, I
did that.
Did you? Mm-hmm. I forgot my own birthday as well, to be honest with you. My parents were here. If my parents were not like visiting me that day, I would not have remembered that was my birthday. I only really ever knew it as the first day of spring break. So, honestly, I think having my birthday as the second day of lockdown kind of took all the fun out of having birthdays.
My brother's birthday was the first day of lockdown in San Francisco.
Oh, wait.
I'd make sure to remind him of that every birthday.
Here's the reason for the lockdown.
Yeah, no, he totally is.
Anyway, so yeah, spring break was, whatever. Birthday, that was fun. They asked my birthday. I went to GameSwap in Medford, not to be confused with GameStop. GameSwap in Medford. I bought an Xbox 360 for $100 with 2 games and one controller and all the cords, and it is awesome.
Did it have the red ring issue?
I bought the 360. Now, if you don't know, the red ring was caused by like an issue with the battery on the inside of the console frying it. I bought the 360E, which was the model that had the external battery brick, just like the Xbox One, so that doesn't happen.
Oh.
So if my battery brick fries, I pay like $15 and I get another one.
Okay.
Also, GameSwap's awesome. Like on eBay, all the Xbox 360s are like $150, but that's also because it's one person trying to sell their old console to make a profit. This is a company. It's so great.
GameSwap is like GameStop, but better.
Friendlier. It's also like smaller business too, so they're able to get better deals and stuff like that. That's actually not to say like all GameStops are bad. I know they're like the GameStop in Watsonville. People there are very nice. GameStop in San Francisco, fucking assholes.
Depends.
True. There was just like one that I went to that was kind of near Laurel School.
The one downtown makes sense. It is right next to the James Bond building.
It is.
The James Bong building.
Yeah.
B-O-N, Bridge over Bongwater.
That album's 50 years old.
That's a real one.
Anyway, so yeah, point being, that was fun. Xbox 360, awesome. I bought it specifically because one, there's like, a bunch of games I always played with my friend. I never had a 360. Up until I got my Xbox One, I was a Nintendo kid. I had a Wii, I had a Wii U, I had a couple DSs. I also had like a Mac that I could play Minecraft on. But I used to have a lot of fun memories of playing, like games that I could not get in the Wii at my friend's house on his 360. So I bought 360 and bought some of those games. It's always a lot of fun. And also because the Goodwill here sells like games for $3, like really good stuff a lot of the time. Need for Speed Most Wanted, the one that you and I used to play all the time on my Wii U, Ben. That thing was $3.
Need for Weed.
Yeah, exactly. That thing was $3. Fun game, great game. So Xbox 360 is still a lot of fun. Not a lot of online server activity. I wonder why. Most of the online servers have been shut down by the manufacturers of their respective games, sadly.
Rightfully so.
GoldenEye still has its servers up because it's the same one that has GoldenEye on the Wii, and that still works for some reason. But those and Legends have been shut down.
Isn't that Activision?
GoldenEye, the reboot, is Activision, yeah. Also, fun thing here. they're actually porting the GoldenEye N64 game to the Xbox Series X. Because they wanted to do that back when they bought Rare, but at the time, back when they did like the Rare Replay collection, like 30 games made by Rare in 2015, they wanted to include GoldenEye. But at the time, Activision owned the distribution rights to any game with the name GoldenEye because of their deal to make GoldenEye Reloaded. And so now Microsoft owns Activision, they can finally bring GoldenEye from the N64 onto the Series X. Mm-hmm. Same graphics and all that, just better controls and better frame rate. Fun. Anyway, yep, it's been decent. I want to talk about the other thing on the list, though, for general topics. Ben, do you want to go first with this one, or should I?
New classes. Yes, of course, we must talk about this. Because new classes are happening, they're in the air, and I'm just stalling for time
I
to
can
think
tell
of the
you are.
classes.
Yeah, should I go first while you think about this?
I'm thinking about it. No, I got it. Okay. So basically, my new classes, bam. Number 1, OChem. Number 2, OChem Lab. Number 3, research.
That's organic chemistry, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, OChem is organic chemistry.
Okay, cool. So I actually did that last term, yeah.
So people don't know what OChem is? That's crazy.
No, I mean, I asked you at a previous podcast what it was. I was testing my own memory on that one.
Oh, yeah. So OChem is organic chemistry, and PChem is physical chemistry.
Okay.
Nothing else. It doesn't mean anything else. Do not take that acronym into anything.
No one did, Ben. I don't think anyone in our audience did.
I'm pretty sure our audience would never do that. Come on. Anyways, and then I'm also taking biochemistry. Oh, sorry, molecular biology, not biochemistry. And then I'm taking physics, which is about waves, but that one's really boring. And that's it. What about you?
So for me, I'm taking Music 207, which is a rock music course, which is awesome. Just like it's just 50 of us in our schools, in our college music hall, blasting music and then talking about its impact on the world and all that type of stuff. It's just so much fun. Homework assignment: name 5 songs and talk about why they're important to you. Number 1, "Fuck Time" by Green Day.
Haha, You're Dead by Green Day.
Well, no, I actually picked "Fuck Time" by Green Day because that and "Kill the DJ" are the ones that got me listening to the Green Day, which then got me listening to other bands like it, which then got me into music in general. So there is actually a significance between that song and me, but also because my teacher listens to all the ones that people put on their assignments, and I wanted him to have to hear that, so I put that on my list. Because my professor has to listen to all the songs that are on that list, so I put that on there.
All by myself.
Along with other stuff like I think put JAR on there, put something by Meatloaf on there, put We Are Chaos on that list. Anyway,
basically, all of his music taste is going with the songs.
A lot of the assignments are really fun. It's like, okay, listen to like a bunch of them Black Sabbath from both Ozzy Osbourne and Ronnie James Dio's eras, and then talk about the difference between them.
That is literally like
that's like
you.
Yes, that's just my dream assignment. It's just a lot of fun. I've got another my final university seminar class I'm gonna have to take, assuming I pass it, which I probably will because it's something I'm enjoying working with. It's like essentially just writing. So it's like, hey, write an essay. I'm actually, essentially, if I have permission from that teacher, I'm actually able to use this essay as my music essay as well. If I have permission from both teachers, which apparently these are professors who typically grant these type of permissions. So.
Wait, I have a class exactly like that, except it's for bio. We're basically just sitting down and they're telling us about these are your future career options. But like I have to take it because I transferred into the bio major,
right? And
it's so annoying because like I know what I want to do as my career, and it doesn't really help me with resume or anything, and I have to interview someone, which is annoying.
So for my USM class, it's like pick an essay topic, write about it. You can continue one you did from last term or not. I mean, I enjoyed the one I did last term, but I spent 5 weeks working on that, and I don't. If I ever have to see that paper again, I'm going to be pissed. I enjoyed it. It was really good talking about, like how nature affects mental health. It was actually a really great topic for me specifically.
I remember that.
It was a good topic, but I spent 6.5 weeks working on it, and I wanted to do something else. So instead of kind of going off the topic I started in my music class about how about how music changed the world, and because it has to be like peer-reviewed studies for sources on this type of stuff, I just instead changed it to protest music.
Really? I did that for my...
I did like anti-war protest songs and stuff like that. Because I know there's a lot of that. There's a lot of information on that, so that's good.
I did mine about how Revolution Radio by Green Day fails as a revolutionary song.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
Basically, and now there's no good revolutionary music, sadly. Yeah. But academically, I said that academically. And this was in high school, so I was a little more of a bitter boy.
Yeah. But like, so this one, I'm gonna be talking about, you know, protest songs, like songs that stand up against racial violence and stuff like that. And it's also like against war, which there's a lot of that throughout history.
Fortunate son.
Also, I'm not confining myself to any sort of specific genre or time period, so it's perfect. And then I have an anthropology course.
Thoughts?
I'm not going to say the name of this professor. I will say...
Okay, all right, that's enough of that.
That's being censored out of this podcast. I'm not going to put that in there because I know for a fact that some people in my class actually listen to this podcast.
So basically, Oliver said that.
Yeah, essentially. Not a great professor. Sounds like. I'm not really great with anthropology, but like he would put on like, you know, it's like anthropology, archaeology, all type of stuff. We watched like 30 minutes of Indiana Jones. We spent an hour just like deconstructing why Indiana Jones is not an actually good like representation of archaeological studies. No fucking shit. That's like, and so I just put up my hand in class. He's like, yes, Oliver. I'm like, that's like an MLB manager showing his team the Sandlot and deconstructing how that's not how you actually play baseball. What's the point of this?
Did you say that?
I did, yeah. And he just like looked at me and then didn't say anything and went back to teaching the class. And everyone else just kind of like applauded a little bit. Because it's not just me. According to other people who've been in this class before, he's normally really nice, but for this quarter, for some reason, he's just deciding to be an asshole.
Maybe it's his last quarter. Maybe he's got a tenure.
No, I mean, he is tenured. So.
Oh, sorry. I forgot how tenure works.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So.
We have a professor exactly like that, except. Oh, wait, no, except she was never good. I'm going to say it right now. Kimberly Edwards, your husband cannot play basketball. He sucks at basketball. My friend beat him in a game of basketball. And I hope that your husband rises up one day and leaves you.
Okay, then.
Anyways,
yeah, but like, so I have two classes which I really enjoy, and one class which I'm taking it to get it over with. I'm just going to brute force my way through this. I can take it pass, no pass if I need to. Pass, fail, I don't need to do that. I'm gonna, if I get through it with a passing grade, I'll be happy. It's like one of those terrible.
Is that the USEM or is that the?
No. I'm actually happy with USEM. The socio-anthropology, archaeology stuff. I don't like. That's the one I hate. Like, I'm fine with USEM. I'm fine with USEM, and I love the music one. So I've got two classes which I got one class which I love, one class which I really like, and then one class which I can't stand. So anyway, that's that. We actually spent quite a while on this. We've spent half an hour on this. We need to move on.
Okay, and I said this is going to take 45 minutes.
Viewer mail.
I'm sharding.
That's not what this says. It says 7 minutes. Anything else?
No.
We didn't get any viewer mail.
Yeah.
I posted about it on the podcast account. So we didn't get any.
Nobody cares about viewer mail.
We got some last time, actually.
I think they realized that we make it up usually.
No, we didn't.
Well, remember the time that you made up the viewer mail?
I made up one, I made up the first one, I think, just so I could say, hey, people, we actually read these, you know? And then it kicked off, like, a time, like, when some people actually did send in some stuff.
Wasn't there one that was like, what's the worst airport you've been in?
That was a really fun one. That was sent in that wasn't sent in, that was just like a friend of mine. I was talking to him and he's like, hey, you have a podcast. Talk about this.
Wait, I could do that with my friends. They'd probably just be like, what is an NFT? They'd probably say something really stupid.
All right. So, okay, then let's move on. We don't, here's one that's actually important. We do have a Patreon. That's not important though. Patreon can go fuck itself. We do, however, also have a vaccine and boosters.
Yes. Oh my gosh, guys. They're calling for secondary boosters in order to stop the new variant of coronavirus. Now, I want you to think to yourself, what happened the first time I got the booster? Oh, it was totally fine, right? It's going to be fine this time, too. Get your arm out.
I wouldn't say I was totally fine. I will say what happened to me was worth it, though, in the long run.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather not.
I woke up the next. I think I mentioned this in the live podcast. I was kind of like almost crying from the amount of joint pain I had. It kind of felt like having flu B, but that went away within a couple hours. And just, you know, my SOU has been saying, you know, you don't have to wear masks anymore, and most people haven't. And also, we've been doing that for the last 3 weeks. We've had a grand total of one COVID case.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's tempting fate.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna wear my mask because I like the way that nobody can see my double chin.
I
But
I wear my mask quite often. Not always though.
if I'm in class though, ain't no way I'm not gonna be wearing my mask.
Yeah.
Like I have to wear it.
Yeah.
But I get that might make me seem like an NPC, but whatever.
That makes sense. But yeah, so essentially I'm saying, like, it just makes me feel better to have the booster shot available and, to know that I've had a booster shot. So if you've not been boosted yet, first of all, if you don't have a vaccine yet, why?
Well, I mean, that's not really going to convince anybody. Basically,
I know it's not. It's just, I know it's not convinced. I'm just informing them that they're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're at that point where you are hesitant whether you want to take the other booster, completely understandable. But we're living proof that the first few vaccines are totally fine.
Yeah, they're great.
We turned out fine, at least. And you might have a little bit of
so let's put it like this: we're not any worse off than we were before.
Yeah, we might actually be better off than we were.
Oh no, I mean we absolutely are. I mean, less likely to get sick.
Yeah, and when you get Omicron and you have the vaccine, you are unlikely, actually almost impossible to get it again, which is not.
We discussed that on the live.
The live?
The live podcast.
We did, yeah, exactly. So that's why we saw that gigantic dip in Omicron cases. And I don't know if we talked about that before, but that's probably a very positive thing.
We talked about the whole if you get both vaccinated and Omicron, you're less likely to. And then we aired that podcast, and then the dip happened. So
that's really good. Honestly, yeah. I like the dip is probably the best thing that has happened in the past few weeks.
Dip.
Sorry,
why is that funny?
I'm playing for the
Anyway, so yeah, get the vaccine, get the booster. If you don't, you are a.
And if you feel a little bit apprehensive about getting one, that's okay. But
yeah,
you should probably get them at the end of the day.
Yep.
And don't worry, we'll be the first to tell you when we get them.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get the. I mean, SOU does on campus we had the vaccines. We also had the boosters. So whenever I get approved for a second booster, we'll have that here too. So I'll get it pretty much as soon as possible.
UCI did not have that.
Didn't you? Also, Ben, I want to point out, thank you for doing this. Like, you volunteered at at a vaccine clinic, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and I still didn't get the vaccine for free.
Still, though, thank you for doing that, though.
I want to do that again, but I feel like I'm gonna be
busy.
I'm gonna be volunteering at a tree nursery, I think.
That's cool.
Because I like trees.
Anyway, Ben likes trees. We have a vaccine. We have a Patreon, and now we should move on to life in college. No, I'm looking at the wrong slide. I'm dumb.
To the Major League Baseball report.
Right.
Holy shit! This is the first time we've had this in forever.
So okay, it's like the MLB season started a couple days ago, but it haven't been 5 games played. It's not really worth doing the rankings. So instead, I'm just going to talk about all the major trades and signings that happened in the offseason.
Sorry, didn't the Giants' new pitchers weren't they really good?
Yeah, he's actually number 1 on this list. Carlos Rodon from the White Sox. He threw a no-hitter last year, and he brought that stuff the other day. He only went 5 innings the other day just because he had an inning where he had to throw first start of the year. They're trying to keep their workload down a little bit because again, also due to the lockout, they had an abbreviated spring training, so they did not get as much practice as they normally would have. So they kept him down to 80 pitches. He normally gets a lot more than that in a game. But he tied a Giants record. So 12 strikeouts in his debut as a Giant. That's a record. Only the Giants ever do that were Juan Marichal. So that's insanely good. He had 1 inning where he probably would pitch another inning. He had 1 inning where he just threw 30 pitches because he had a bunch of base runners because of errors that were caused in the game by. Well, we have a third baseman who should not be at third base, but he is because a normal third baseman shredded some ligaments in his knee. So that's fun. But anyway, yeah. So that's Carlos Rodon to the Giants. That's a good one. That's the first one in the on the list for the offseason trades. There's a couple other big ones. Jock Peterson, formerly of the Dodgers, and then the Cubs, and then the Braves, is now a Giant. That's a fun little piece of trivia. So yeah. Wait, Ben, have you watched any of the games at all? Or
I haven't watched any of the games, but my friend and I are following he has YouTube TV, so he invited me to watch one tonight, but I'm like, no.
I have it on Hulu. I can just watch it through the website, so that's good.
Hulu Sports.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, Carlos Rodon, Josh Peterson became Giants. Freddie Freeman signed with the Dodgers, 2020 MVP. That as a Giants fan, that terrifies me. Also, I really like the guy. He's supposed to be like a really nice guy, and also he's just a great player. But now I have to hate him, so. Oh, well. Hopefully he just doesn't hit well against the Giants, which is probably not going to happen because he hits well against everyone. Oh, well. So, yeah, Freddie Freeman.
We're going to win.
Now a Dodger.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers. Yeah, hell no. I tried to go to a Dodgers game or an Angels game. This summer I'm going to go to an Angels game. Also because I have a telephoto lens from my phone now. I can get pictures of, the batter in the batter's box from any point in the stadium. And I want to get, close-up pictures of, Ohtani and stuff like that for my photography blog because he's just awesome. His swing is so cool. Anyway, moving on down the list, we have Marcus Stroman. Pitcher, he was okay for a couple years with the Blue Jays, became very good with the Mets, and now is with the Cubs. Pitches really well. Again, really field where the Cubs play. A lot of wind there, but also a very large field. He throws sinkers most of the time, so it's going to stay in the ballpark. Not a lot of home runs. Perfect place for him to be playing. Anyone who uses him in MLB The Show currently right now is a I am pretty good at that game, and to be fair, I include myself in that because I use his card as well. But he is he's an asshole. But anyone who uses player's card is terrible because he is impossible to hit home runs off of, even with the improved hitting in this year's game. Although to be fair, I'm among them because I do use that card as well because he's insanely good. Anyway, Robbie Ray. Pretty sure he won the Cy Young Award last year. Actually, I was very vocal in the trade list leading up to the 2021 season. So about this time last year, about why the fuck would the Blue Jays sign Robbie Ray? What a stupid deal this is. This is terrible. Who the fuck? Who authorized this deal? Then he goes out. Then he goes out and wins the Cy Young Award. What the hell? What?
Maybe he's good.
He is. But the thing is, he was in Arizona, which is one of the best hitters products in baseball, and he was terrible there. Not terrible. He was the best pitcher on a really, really, really bad staff of pitchers. So he wasn't great. I said they paid him I didn't say it was a bad signing. I said it was an overpay. Which, okay, look. Looking at his previous performance last year's in Arizona, what they paid him last year was an overpay for what he'd done in the past. However, he signed with the Mariners now, and that's a great contract. So. That'll be interesting.
Great contract, shitty team.
Well, a shitty team for maybe the next year and then no more because they have so much young talent, incredibly great talent. Again, I want to point out that the Mariners never reached the World Series, but they also have the record for the most wins in a season at 116 from 2001, and they are dangerously close to that type of talent again.
Well, not the World Series, though.
No, they lost. They've actually never reached the World Series, so that's something. Anyway, so yeah, speaking of Blue Jays and things, Kevin Gausman, former Giant with the Blue Jays, his first start did not go well.
Oh, it's because it's Drake's team, right?
What?
Well, Drake's from Canada.
Oh, right. I know that. I didn't know. Does he actively, does he wear Blue Jays hats?
He loves all Canadian sports. He was a big fan of the Raptors.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah. He made a whole song with maybe the Warriors.
Have you heard Marlins Will Soar?
Do I want to hear Marlins Will Soar?
It's by the frontman of Creed, and it's about the Florida Marlins.
Want to hear?
We'll listen to it after the podcast.
I'm sure we will.
It's what you think it is.
Okay, so it's pretty bad.
Oh no, it's terrible, but it's so funny.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, anyway, so moving on. Kevin Gausman, I was sad to see that the Giants didn't bother to sign him, and then about a couple of days later they went out and got Carlos Rodon, so I was instantly not sad anymore. It's funny how signing a guy who can throw no hitters is going to make you not sad about losing someone else on your team, huh? Anyway, so yeah, Kevin Gausman went to the Blue Jays. Corey Seager, he was a Dodger for his entire career. His brother Kyle Seager just retired, the face of the Mariners for the last decade or so. Last half decade, just retired. Although finally last year they got a photo on the same field together. That was awesome. But yeah, Corey Seager. Of all I don't like the Dodgers on principle, but I actually have a lot of respect for Corey Seager because he's also apparently just a really nice guy. Does a lot of charity work, that type of stuff. Just a great guy. Went to Texas, so apparently he's a good guy who does not like winning. I mean, Texas is one of those teams that has a lot of what?
Sorry, keep going.
Texas is one of those teams that has a lot of really great players, but they just can't seem to do anything right. Like, they can't seem to win, and they also have a habit of trading away players right before they become good. So, Corey Seager just signed like a mass. I did not bother to put down the time, like the length and the price of the deals on here, just because they might get traded. It might vary. Also because that would just take too long. But yeah, that's an impressive deal. I mean, the Rangers also signed Marcus Semien as well. So yeah, they're trying to make moves over there in Texas. They're just trying and failing to keep up with whatever the Astros are doing, which they're
Astros.
Yeah, probably not.
Astros. No, but I like saying the Astros.
I doubt it.
Oliver, I'm gonna go get my package while you finish this up. I'll be like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. I can talk about this for 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll talk about baseball while you're gone. So yeah, the whole thing about Texas is that the Rangers over the last in the early 2010s, they were pretty good. They had a lot of really great players. Nelson Cruz was one of them. Josh Hamilton, remember him? He could have had he did have a great career, and if drugs had not gotten in the way multiple times, he could have had an even better one. I mean, that's what several stints in rehab will do to you, though, cut your career down like that. But yeah, the Rangers in the early 2010s got to the World Series in 2010 and 2011 and lost both times. Lost to the Giants in 2010, Cardinals in 2011. So they just couldn't put it together. And then they've been essentially, I would say they've been in the basement for the last half decade or so. They've been about 25 feet below the basement in the soil. They've been buried for a long time now. But they're starting to come back, and I think trades like this, trades and signings like this are a huge part of that. Also, of course, they got was Adolis Garcia, power hitter, good defender, was an all-star last year. They lost Joey Gallo to the trade, not trades. I think he just got picked up last offseason by New York. I don't think he went back, so his power is gone, but I mean, he was literally just a power hitter. He could not hit for average at all. His average is normally in the low 200s, but he always had a lot of home runs, so it's kind of a weird trade-off with Joey Gallo. But still, Texas trying to build a competent team, and they have a lot of power now. They just are struggling to find anyone who wants to pitch for them who has any sort of consistency. Colby Allard can pitch, for sure. He just isn't consistent with it and can't keep it going steadily. I don't even know if Mike Fulton Evans is even on that team anymore. I think he was on a one-year deal. I don't think that got re-signed. Again, the Rangers have a good power-hitting core, not a great pitching staff. So, moving on from that, we got Max Scherzer to the New York Mets. I'm just glad he's not a Dodger anymore, because even at, he's getting up there in years in terms of baseball players, and in terms of how hard he throws with his pitching stuff. He is terrifying. He is a machine. He's a pitching machine. Hall of Famer for sure. Was one of the faces of the Nationals for a long time. Then he became a Dodger last year in a trade that shocked mostly everyone who wasn't paying attention to it. And now he's a Met. So that's the thing that happened. The Mets are kind of like Texas. They've had a lot of good pieces for the last decade or so, but they can't put them together. They had David Wright. It couldn't stay healthy. They got a lot of great pieces. David Wright couldn't stay healthy. A lot of great pitching stuff. DeGrom can't stay healthy because he's injured now. Syndergaard couldn't stay healthy, and as we'll find out, as I talk about later on this slide, now a Angel. Yeah, Syndergaard went to the Angels. So the Mets have had a lot of good pieces in the last decade, but just can't put together a winning team. I mean, they did make it to the postseason and then to the World Series in 2015 against the Royals, and they honestly, I think they should have won that. It was defense that let them down. A lot of blown saves and errors. Lucas Duda, anyone remember him? No? Good. Funny guy, funny name, Lucas Duda. But yeah, he had some defensive problems in that series, and the Mets lost in the World Series. That's the last time they were actually playing meaningful baseball in October. Although actually no, it's not true. They made it to the wild card game in 2016 and then got blasted by the Giants in extra innings. Sorry, not extra innings. I think it was later, not extra innings. That was a couple of years prior with the Giants in the Nationals and the NLDS, I think it was. But yeah, the Mets did make it to the wild card game in 2016 against the Giants. and then Connor Gillespie hit a home run, and that kind of ended their season. I mean, the Giants made it to the NLDS and got steamrolled by the absolute offensive machine that was the Cubs, who would win the World Series that year, obviously. But yeah, so there's some interesting moves with the Mets. Scherzer's definitely a good signing for them. Even though he's getting up there in years, his velocity's going down. His movement's still good in his pitches, so he still has his secondary pitches. Even if his fastball is becoming a little bit more hittable, I can see him playing there for a good few years. Something that's actually not on this list I should have probably mentioned is Albert Pujols to the Cardinals. The machine is going home. And he said it's his last year. He wants to retire with Wainwright and Molina. Those teams that won the World Series in 2011. Wainwright, Molina, Pujols. They're all most likely going to retire at the end of the year. Molina said he will. Pujols said he will. Wainwright, I think Wainwright can still pitch another few seasons. I think Wainwright could be good to pitch this season and 2 more. The way he's going right now, the way he was, especially like how he was showing up in spring training. However, I think he might just retire at the end of this season to kind of, have some sort of closure, like proper closure. He's a great pitcher. The last thing you want to have happen is him come back for one more year and have it being a disaster. Look what happened to Hunter Pence. Came back with the Giants in 2020 and it was a train wreck. He went out and what might just be the lowest point in his entire career. I don't think Wainwright wants it to happen. So Wainwright, although he probably could pitch for a few more years, probably going to retire at the end of this year. But yeah, Pujols back to the Cardinals, back where his career started, and it's beautiful just to see that happen. In terms of how good of a move is it from the Cardinals' business standpoint? It's not. Pujols can still hit a little bit. He's far, far from what he used to be. He got DFA'd by, I think DFA'd or just released by the Angels last year. He got picked up by the Dodgers. He did okay with the Dodgers. Hit a few more home runs. But honestly, this really is just kind of a publicity signing, I think. I'm sure he's going to still hit a few more home runs in that stadium and everyone there's going to love it. But in terms of how often he'll be playing, he probably won't. Although the NL does have the DH this year for the first time, apart from COVID, so he might just play DH because he's not a good defender anymore. It's just nice to see Pujols getting sent off. He deserves with his team that he came up with. It's just gonna be really great to see that happen. I cannot wait to see how this season goes for him and the Cardinals in general. And we got Corey Kluber signed by the Rays. Hello, Ben. So Corey Kluber, all-star pitcher, great pitcher, had some problems last few years with injuries. Signed by the Rays. This is a stupid move. I'm saying it. This is bad. This is really bad. Not because Corey Kluber's a bad pitcher, but because most of his stuff relies on movement and break. He doesn't throw very hard. And the Rays play in a dome. So this is going to go very badly. It's going to be around the same level, I'm assuming, as R.A. Dickey as back when R.A. Dickey got traded to the Blue Jays. Movement pitchers in domes don't do well.
Dickey in a dome. Dickey in a dome.
Okay.
Dickey in a dome.
Also, Ben, when you were going, I did talk about the Albert Pujols thing as well. That was cool.
I do not remember that.
He went back to the Cardinals for his last season. So.
Oh shit! Which one are you on?
I didn't put him on here, but Albert Pujols.
You're on Corey Kluber right now, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit! There's 2 Coreys.
Yep. I also when you were gone, I spent more time just talking about how the franchises like the Rangers and the Mets and all type of stuff, like the signing Max Scherzer. I just kind of talked about what type of team they're trying to build and how many years I think it will take them for them to actually be competitive.
I'm sure that we'll start seeing them being competitive this year.
The Mets, no, I think the I don't know. I mean, the Mets.
Oh, the Mets.
The Mets have a lot of good pieces, but they've had a lot of good pieces for years. They just can't put it together very well. And I think the only competition really for the Rangers is the Astros. No one else in that division is really. I mean, okay, also the A's, but they're not very serious at this point.
But they're not in the same division, right?
AL West.
Aren't the Rangers in a completely different?
Nope.
AL West. I thought the Astros in the NL.
No, they were up until 2013. Then they got tricked. In 2013, they became an AL team. It was a weird thing that happened. There was a couple years when the National League had 16
not
teams.
unprecedented, though, right?
What?
That's unprecedented, isn't it?
That's only ever happened a couple times. Yeah, it was a weird thing that I don't know the exact specifics around it. Anyway, so yeah, Max Scherzer to the Mets, Corey Kluber to the Rays, Marcus Semien, as I mentioned, to the Rangers, Adam Frazier, good contact hitter, not a lot of power, but all-star last year, to the Mariners.
The Mariners are building a really good team.
Yeah, Dick Mountain to the Red Sox. Now that's going to be an interesting one. He's been with the Red Sox 3 different times now. What? That's his nickname, Dick Mountain. Yeah. Yeah. There was a time when several they had stopped saying it on broadcast because a lot of the YouTube re-uploads of their broadcasts got demonetized.
Oh.
He actually
copyright to just say Dick Mountain.
Right, but YouTube picks up Dick as a swear word. Anyway, Rich Hill back to the Red Sox. He's I think 42 at this point, but he had a very impressive season last year. And he's been with the Red Sox a couple different times, and every single time he's been there, he's been really good. So we'll see how this goes. I actually think he has another couple seasons left in him, but who knows? I've talked about this before. Some players like Hunter Pence came back to the Giants in 2020 after having an All-Star season, and then retired mid-season because he was terrible. That was like last thing I want to see. Like Rich, I love Rich Hill. He's a great pitcher, great guy. Apparently a really nice person as well in the clubhouse and all that type of stuff. I don't want to see him, sign another deal after this year and then be terrible and have to retire mid-season and go out in a failure mode. But we'll see how this goes. I think he's going to do pretty well in Boston. It's a very deep field. He gets a lot of easy fly balls for outs, so he should he's been there before a couple times actually, and each time it's been the same. Pretty solid pitcher. Maybe not the ace of the staff, but pretty solid throughout. Then we got Noah Syndergaard. Back from injuries over the last couple of years, Tommy John surgery, not a very great successful bounce back time for him. Signed with the Angels. This will be interesting. Again, the Angels have had a great core of players for the last decade and have made the postseason. But they've never been
able to convert it.
Yeah, I know. They've made the postseason. They made it in 2014 and they made it in 2014 and got blasted by the Royals. I think they also made it to a wild card game. I think it was 2016 they made the wild card game, 2017. They've had a lot of great players. It just never seems to work out for them. They've just been kind of a cursed franchise. So hopefully, they're one down. They have plenty of power, guys like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. And Ohtani had a very successful season as a pitcher as well last year. And hopefully now with Syndergaard and Ohtani on the same team, we're just trying to get maybe a better pitching core. Because pitching is the one aspect they've really needed help with the last few seasons.
Wait, don't they have the best pitcher?
Well, Ohtani pitches. Ohtani, yeah, they have two of the best hitters in baseball. Ohtani and Mike Trout combined are probably going to hit about 100 home runs this season, just those two together, if they stay healthy.
But they still can't win.
No, because as many runs as they score, and they score a lot of runs, their pitching sucks, so they give up even more runs. But now they've got two really good pitchers, and they also have a good young pitching staff, so maybe they can build a better team in the next few years. Hopefully, I really want to see Ohtani and Trout hitting and pitching in a World Series. That'd be great. Mike Trout is on the way to a Hall of Fame career, no doubt. It'd be awesome to see him in the World Series at some point. And I
haven't heard much from Mike Trout, but after his giant deal.
Yeah, last year he was injured for a lot of it, so he didn't play a whole ton. And then MLB on April Fool's Day told everyone else he was injured again. Motherfuckers, I believe that for half a second.
That's so mean.
But Mike Trout actually commented on the post saying, "I am?" ? Because MLB never clarified it was an April Fool's joke.
Oh.
He's like, yeah, he's like, "I am," news to me. Anyway, and the last one is Trevor Story, formerly of the Colorado Rockies, something we actually talked about on the Laurel School News broadcast back in the day when he first came up, his impressive start to his career that year, but the 8th grade when we were doing that.
Holy shit.
Trevor, I know we are. Trevor Story to the Boston Red Sox. Again, they've got a lot of good components, and they are putting it together well. They won the World Series a couple years ago, but just like the Nationals World Series in 2019, a lot of those guys are gone now. Most of those guys were either on the end of their career or they're on one-year deals and they didn't get re-signed. So Red Sox have a lot of talent trying to put together to make one awesome postseason run. I think within the next 2 or 3 years, if not this year. They made it to the postseason last year and did fairly well. They got eliminated in the first round. But
so they didn't do very well. Giants did.
Well, no. Okay, they beat the Yankees in the wild card game.
Well, the Yankees suck.
Yeah, I think it was the second round. Now I'm thinking about it. I don't know. And my point is, they made the postseason last year, and they've added some. They've gotten rid of a couple guys, but they've also added on a whole bunch of talent, a lot of better hitting, and they've also fortified their pitching this year to make a better, deeper run to the postseason. I think they honestly have a shot, if not this year, then in the next 2 to 3 years to make the World Series, and it's going to be fun to watch. And that is the end of the very long and very descriptive MLB report. Moving on to news.
Oh man. Okay, so
There's no good segue for this.
There's the news this week is actually ass. Like, it's so bad. So let's start with Ukraine.
So I want to bring something up. So we did record a podcast in February, and I almost got it edited. Apart from the problems I had with the files I wouldn't export. By the time I had it edited, we talked about the whole Ukraine thing. We kind of made a decision that it wasn't going to actually happen, and then a few days after we recorded the podcast, it happened, and I kind of made the executive decision to, after 3 weeks. So again, I have it ready to export. I can publish it now. I finished editing it and I got it uncorrupted last week, and by that point, a lot of the stuff, I wouldn't say hadn't aged well. Like, we didn't make any jokes about it or anything, but a lot of stuff in that just seems like things that we described it very much as a hypothetical. It's very much not a hypothetical anymore.
Yeah, the thing about, if you guys didn't know, if you've been living under a rock, the Russian army invaded Ukraine on February 24th. And, they've been shelling cities and stuff like that. And they haven't been as successful as they thought they would be. But, there's been atrocities from both Russians and Ukrainians.
How successful did you think they would be?
I thought that they would steamroll the country very quickly, but they didn't.
Ukraine is smaller force, but they are fighting back hard.
Yeah, but that happens with everyone. Ukraine is just supported by Western money, and Russia is also not as good of a fighting force as we thought they were. I think we need to take... I feel like when we're looking at the way that mainstream media is portraying this, we need to take a little more of a nuanced approach and not just say fuck Russian people or fuck Ukrainian people.
I'm not saying Russian people. I'm just saying the motives of the Russian military.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't have anything against random Russian civilians. I don't they have nothing to do with this. It's not their fight.
And honestly, the fact that we've been sanctioning them into oblivion can't help either.
The X hamster sanction, the X video sanction. Did you hear about that?
No, that's gonna make Putin stop. They can't watch porn anymore.
Apparently, this is actually, I found this out via a Bing homepage quiz every day for my Microsoft Rewards points. X videos, the porn site. Apparently, they can whenever an approved content uploads to that site, they can blacklist in certain countries from a drop-down menu or something like that. At least that's how it was described. And
well, pack it up. The war's over.
Russia has seen a 98% decrease in videos allowed in their country.
Well, pack it up. The war's over. I guess we fixed it. We have peace. That's just I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like when you're looking at this, we don't give enough. There's really no winners here. The one thing that we can hope for is that Russia and Ukraine come to peace deal. Because if we keep funding Ukraine,
will just end.
We need to. I need to say this lesson. The thing about Ukraine is that there's a lot of neo-Nazis in its military, which is a little scary. And it means that when you are donating to the Ukrainian war effort, you are donating to those groups.
The cause might be good, but sometimes the people behind it or the people that are involved in what you're donating to are not. And
something that I need to also state is that we've seen videos of Roma people in Ukraine getting lynched by the Ukrainian army.
Yeah.
And we've seen Russian speakers. What?
I said yeah, we have, yeah.
Yeah, we've also seen like anti-Jewish violence in Ukraine and anti-Semitism, which is like, oh, because Ukraine collaborated with the Nazis in World War II.
Which I think like a lot of people, and it's not necessarily the fault of the people who consume it. It's just like how the media portrays it of good versus bad, you know. And it's not like that. There's a lot of different levels to this.
Exactly. And the people that are like, Zelensky is so cute, I would literally bury my face in his ass. Like, shut the fuck up.
Who the fuck are those
God
people?
damn.
What back alley of TikTok have you found?
It's literally, okay, do you remember the people that were Cuomo-sexuals?
The what?
The people that were like Cuomo-sexual.
Rivers Cuomo? What now? What?
No, Andrew Cuomo.
Oh, okay.
It's like, why do we thirst over these mediocre? They're not
right. No, okay, that makes more sense now. I'm like, does Rivers Cuomo have that much of a fan base? No,
okay. Rivers Cuomo.
Wait, are there people who are actually obsessing about Ukraine government in that way, and like Ukraine power in that way?
There are people out there that think it's funny to just thirst after someone.
Nothing about this is funny.
Finding somebody hot is now patriotism, which is like, okay, all right, I don't know. It's just like mind-blowing, I think.
I am so very glad the internet was not around in like World War II or Vietnam.
Dude, if the internet was around in World War II, it would have been over.
I mean, like early '70s, you have ARPANET, but that's just a military communication system.
Thank God it wasn't around in World War II, because if social media was around, we would be fucked. The Nazis would have won, like 100%.
Yeah, I mean, thank God there was no actual like internet, social media in that era.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that it has helped us do is see through, like, if this was happening in the 1990s, you wouldn't hear about the atrocities committed by the Ukrainian army.
Nope.
And we'd just be like, okay, we're going to fund them. I mean, that's how we funded Mujahideen in Afghanistan, right? And then they became the Taliban. So hopefully we can stop that from happening again, but it's not going to happen.
The one, I think, like you said, like the one, I guess, slightly positive aspect about having the social media this time around is you can see the perspective of people who are actually there and what's going on. But it's not what's being shown to you. It's what you actually have to find.
Also, this is the last thing I'm going to say on this, though. I know I said it like 12 different times. If you're an American, don't act like our country's any better than like what Russia did.
Yep.
I mean, Russia had about as much justification as we did in invading Iraq, and we brought the entirety of the rest of the country, like NATO, into it. NATO invaded Iraq. It wasn't us. It was NATO, which is like, that's crazy. Why is NATO invading something because of the September 11th attacks? It's a little weird. To the people that say that NATO isn't like United States puppet, it definitely is. You can just tell by that. You can literally just tell by that. But like, Americans like to think that this never happens, or like there's no bloodthirsty people on American television or whatever the fuck. Like there is on Russian television. Like, shut the fuck up. There
absolutely are, yeah.
I mean, it's worse. At least there's everyday Russians that are, there's a lot more everyday Russians that are fighting against this war than the people in America,
Agreed. But also, agreed, absolutely. But also, like what you were saying, going back to what I was saying earlier, there's no winners in this.
True.
It's just whoever comes, there's like, one side's going to be worse off, obviously, but there is no winning this.
Well, there is actually a winner, and it's the Russian oligarchy.
Oh,
and we can't just blame Vladimir Putin for this.
No.
We have to blame the entirety of the Russian oligarchy, because they are the ones, the Russian upper class are the ones who seek to benefit from this war.
I was just talking about, that's correct. I was just talking about more of like a side versus side thing, which again, that's not a thing in this, because there's so many levels to it. It's not like good versus bad. It's...
There's almost never a
There's the soldiers, there's the people, there's the government involved, there's the politics, there's different nations involved in this.
Yep.
It's awful.
It is. It's horrible.
It's just... I'm just, thinking back to what we were covering this time 2 years ago. This is awful in a different way. I mean, just the state of the world is... so awful at this point.
Oh yeah, and the state of America is also really bad, which is the next thing that we're going to talk about. Sorry. And this is something that I need to call out just in general. So, in Texas and a lot of other red states, there have been a ton of laws that have been passed that have banned, that have basically considered children transitioning as a form of child abuse. So if a child decides, hey, maybe I want to take puberty blockers because I don't know if I want to have a girl puberty or a boy puberty or whatever, which is like scientifically they can make that choice.
Yeah.
Scientifically, it happens. Yes. We're going to say that, no, actually, we're going to take you away from your parents. We're going to put you in a fucking camp, and we're going to charge your parents with neglect. What the fuck is wrong with Texas and Alabama? Also, these states have been calling.
I want to say I'm surprised, but the horrible thing is I'm not surprised.
No, right? Like,
I wish I could say I was surprised by this, but I'm not.
Not just, but like, okay, there's also been an alarming wave of what's happened is these Republican congressmen, some of them, by the way, I'd like to point out, with child wives, I just want to point that out because of what I'm going to say next, have been accusing gay people of being groomers. And they have fucking child wives. Like, projection much? Fucking idiots. There's this guy named John Rose. No relation. I'm not related to him. Thankfully. This motherfucker is balding at the age of 45. And also at that age, he married a 16-year-old girl. A fucking loser. And he has the audacity to call gay people groomers. Motherfucker, at least gay people don't have to marry 16-year-olds in order to get, like, you know.
Yeah.
Just like get some bitches, bro. Dumbass. And make sure that they're of age before you do that, huh?
In all seriousness, though, I mean, the way the world is at this point, America, just the way everything is just the most.
The United States, it feels like it's been a lost cause since like forever. So.
If I was going to go back to suicidal tendencies, this would be a prime time.
No, true.
I'm going to cut that out of the podcast. I mean, that wasn't meant to be funny, but also it came out darker than I expected it to.
It is very.
I mean, it's not a funny joke, but like.
The one thing I will say though is that we need to, if you're in support of these of LGBT rights or whatever, we have to find something that we can do. We need to, like, whatever the fuck you think cancel culture is, we need to fucking cancel the state of Texas. Because legitimately, if we can, I'd love to just sanction the people.
Right.
Like Greg Abbott.
I want to bring up something that it's kind of related to this and kind of related to the whole Russia-Ukraine thing as well. This, more than any time in recent years, would be a great time just for, to spread awareness about people, like looking into exactly what it is you're supporting. Because oftentimes, a lot of things, like for instance, Ukraine, a lot of good messages there, but at the same time, the people involved are not always the best people. So take a look at like what you're supporting and who you support on more than just a surface level.
And do not follow blindly, especially not like evening news. Evening news is designed and whenever you say that evening news sucks, you're always going to get the evening news. Always going to tell you, oh, those people are conspiracy theorists. But no, the evening news is designed to shock you. Like, that's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is to present black and white.
Yeah.
So you need to not get your news from there and instead get it from the Waste of Time podcast.
I was going to say instead get it from my Bing homepage quiz. But yeah, no, seriously though, again, we're at a point where facts aren't, I don't want to say facts aren't facts because that's kind of a contradictory term in itself.
The facts have never been facts.
Facts as presented specifically by news are not often what they seem.
And they've never been that way.
True.
And the sooner that we realize that, remember back in the day when Mr. W used to tell us that, oh, back in the day, the facts used to be the facts and reported well, and now the media, but it never was. It was never like that. Ever since the beginning.
It always seemed that way because it was harder to find what was actually going on.
Exactly. And now it's very important that you find out what's actually going on if you want to be an informed person, which I'm sure that our audience does, because otherwise, why would you listen to 2 hours of this dribble?
Yeah, but also, I mean, the downside of being an informed person, I mean, to sit through and explain to other people what's actually going on, being told, no, that's not what's happening. That's not what the news says.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I know.
Literally, they said they tortured people in Guantanamo Bay. It was on the fucking news, and you don't believe it still, bro. I don't know. But with that being said, let's go to the most lighthearted part of the week. Do we want to do Xbox Deal of the Week? I think we might want to skip skip it. We've gone an hour 30.
Let's just do it really quickly, and I'm gonna go to.
Why don't you do 2 games?
All right, Lego Marvel Superheroes Collection, $15. That is Lego Marvel, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, and Lego Avengers, and also some game called Snow Runners. I just went to the deals tab on Xbox and read those off the front of the page right now. Actually, seriously though, any Lego game, I have yet to play the new Lego Star Wars game. I'm gonna save up my Xbox rewards points for that. It seems really good.
I don't think I've ever played a shit Lego game. Except Lego GTA. Lego GTA was kind of.
What are you talking? Oh right. God damn it, Ben. I'm trying to think, Ben. What is the bad Lego game? Is there one? Oh, Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. That wasn't good.
Oh, I've never played that.
It was. It did everything wrong. Microtransaction-y, bad, not great.
It was a bad Marvel game. I mean, fuck, a bad Lego game.
Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't great.
Lego Back to the Future.
Oh, Lego Dimensions, the one that required you to buy things to play the levels. Like you had to buy like sets and shit like that.
Yeah, but it was a decent platformer.
It was a decent game, but it was like those Toys to Life Skylanders type things.
I used to love Skylanders as a kid.
Also on sale on Xbox, BioShock, all the remastered stuff. Those 3 remastered games, $10.
Oh, I heard really good things about BioShock.
Oh no, it's a great series. It's really good. The Infinite, the plot's a bit weird, but the gameplay is good. The BioShock series is great. Saints, Borderlands, the Legendary Collection, which is I think it's 1, and I think it's 1, 2, and the pre-sequel. That's on sale for $20. That's also Series X compatible. Forza Horizon 5, that's on sale. A bunch of Assassin's Creed stuff's on sale this week. A lot of Lego games, pretty much everything that's not the new one that just came out, the new Lego Star Wars one. Like Lego Jurassic World, which is...
Let's go.
It's a couple Jurassic Park games and also Jurassic World for $5. That's pretty good.
Awesome.
SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, $15.
I don't know if I want to... That's kind of ass.
Yeah, seriously, there's a lot of great Lego stuff up here.
And
also, I'm very confident in talking about these ones because these sales end in 11 days, so I can absolutely get this episode out before then. So
okay, don't play the Lego SpongeBob game. It's not good.
Lego SpongeBob. I was talking about the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. That's a classic. I think it's great. Okay, well, also, Lego Toy Story 3. Just don't.
Okay, that's fine. And this concludes the Xbox deals of the week. Let's go to podcast media update.
Oh, actually, wait, one last thing. Lego GTA 5 Expanded Enhanced Edition. That's on sale. Fun.
Lego GTA, let's go!
Did I say Lego GTA? I'm stupid, so I'm tired as hell.
You said Lego GTA.
God, I want that to be a thing so bad. Someone on the internet make that a thing. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, no. GTA 5 Expanded Enhanced Edition on sale. It's a decent upgrade if you get it on sale. Like if you like, do not buy it for full $40 price if you already have the regular version of GTA 5. But otherwise, it's fun. And it's a good one. The graphic increase is actually really great, and the frame rate increase is nice. I got it for $7. It's good. It's on sale. Also, a bunch of Jackbox Party Pack games are on sale. Those are always a lot of fun if you like to play with your friends. If you want to do group events, like Jackbox Party Packs are like a must for like college game nights, specifically. And also a bunch of shit from The Sims, if you care about The Sims. Anyway, so we move on to the last segment, Ben.
Yeah, let's do the media slide.
So Ben, you can go first.
Yeah, sure. So of course you probably put something really stupid in there.
I didn't touch it. I've actually not edited this one at all. I didn't have time.
Cool. So for my slide yesterday, I saw the movie Sonic 2.
Oh, did you actually see it?
It was, yeah.
How was it?
It was funny. So you know those movies where like the audience doesn't care if you yell or like clap in the middle of it?
Like Godzilla, yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what we did.
That's great.
So every time a new character was introduced, Shadow the Hedgehog was at the end, spoiler alert. But basically...
Did he have assault rifles?
He didn't. He had... No. Dr. Eggman...
In the Shadow the Hedgehog game, he uses
Dr.
like...
Eggman, they referenced when Dr. Eggman pissed on the moon. Like,
I love that. I love that.
I'm not...
Wait, is Pingus in it? Is Pingus in it?
No.
Pingus.
Not in it. But...
Damn it.
But... It was so funny because...
Wait, is Jim Carrey still Eggman?
Yes.
That's
Jim Carrey's a really good Eggman.
He's a really good most funny things.
He's really stupid. But
he was in the office. He was in the office very briefly.
It was, it was decent to the point because I was with my friends. If it was with my friends, it probably would have been good. But you know me, I like bad movies for fun.
I actually went to the movie theater 4 times since we last did podcast stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so anything else you like music, whatever?
Yes. So for music, I have I have 2 new playlists. One of them is called K-Poopers Revitalized. It's K-pop, Korean popular music.
I thought you said cake poopers. I was like, what?
K-Poopers, yes, indeed.
Ah.
It's like K-Poop, but like it's K-pop. Anyways, so then like that's Stacy, that's like Espa, that's like Twice. They're pretty good. They're just girl groups because there's like, I don't know. I don't like boy groups because they rap the exact same every single. It's like it's like all of it. It's I don't know. Anyways, okay. And then the next one is a playlist called I'm White, and it's basically indie music.
While it's drinking juice in the hood.
It's vibe.
I rewatched that movie. That movie is still funny.
It's like Vacations, which is this band that kind of sounds like the Smiths and Mark DeMarco together. So 2 really annoying fucking bands, but when they're put together, it's pretty good. And then I heard one of my friends put me onto this new band called Japanese Breakfast, which is a very, very good singer. Like her voice is really.
Why
good.
Have I heard of that?
Japanese, because they were nominated for a Grammy. If you were listening.
So why have I heard of that?
Oh, they've probably like been featured in some Rooster Teeth thing too. Honestly,
it sounds like something that it might have been brought up on the Rooster Teeth podcast. It sounds like something we talk about.
They're very good. I like Japanese
Cool.
Breakfast.
We'll check it out.
They were in the running for best new artist, but cool. Olivia Rodrigo won that because like of course.
Oh right. So I think they like sometimes Rooster Teeth will talk about like the Grammys on their podcast. I might have heard it there. Anyway, so anything else?
Last week.
Anything else?
No. That's it. What about you? So
for me, any games you've been playing though?
Hell no.
Certainly not Minecraft Realms.
Shut the fuck up.
We tried to get that to work for
like at least half.
I would say create a new account, although I don't know if switching accounts will delete your worlds. I doubt it will, but I'll take a look at that. I'll send you information on that. That way we can maybe hope to get it working next time. Anyway, so I'm going to start with games. MLB The Show 22. Best MLB The Show game in years. They added a bunch of new game modes to it. The presentation is nice. They added a bunch of new presentation features, new animations. Like like in stressful situations, like 8th inning of a perfect game, when the catcher throws the ball back to you, sometimes your pitcher will like walk around the mound and take a breather and stuff like that. It's like really cool, like realistic animations. I really like. Road to the Show, the career mode, revamped, completely redone. It's the best it's been. I want to say ever. I've been playing every single game since 13, so it's been a decade since I started playing MLB The Show, and it's the best it's been ever. Probably the best MLB The Show game I've played, and also, unlike last year, little to no server problems on day one. Last year, no one could play online for the first few days because the servers were so bad. They fixed that. They actually knew what they were doing this time around. That's good. And I'm playing MLB The Show 22. Been playing Minecraft. Been playing Lego GTA. I know what I said, Ben. I've been playing actual GTA 5 Expanded Enhanced Edition. It's been fun. Been playing Dynamite Fishing World Game because I bought it for 49 cents as easy achievements. Not a fun game, but whatever. Cyberpunk 2077, doing all the side quests and that. That's fun. They finally updated the game, so they added some really new innovative features like rain and the ability to change your hairstyle. Fuck you, CDPR. God damn it. You haven't actually the game's finally about where it should have been when it first launched. That being said, most of the world is still really lifeless. But oh well. Some of the side missions are fun, and the gunplay is always fun. So that's been interesting. For music, just a lot of rock stuff. That's it, really. I've been listening to some more mostly like some jazz, a little bit.
You like jazz?
Technically pop music, I guess, because like Simon and Garfunkel is pop. So there's that.
Have you listened to any R&B recently?
I'm thinking about getting into R&B. Don't really know where to start. Maybe we can get
you should start with "Rock with You" by Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you class Michael Jackson's R&B, then yes, I have.
I wanna rock with you. No, he's pop, but some of it is.
Yeah,
it's like Vandross.
Yeah, he's like Simon and Garfunkel's majority pop. They do have some I mean, I mean, Paul Simon on his own solo stuff had like very, very influenced from other types of music, but that's something else.
Art Garfunkel on his own was
a
person.
Well, he wasn't a song. He was not the songwriter.
Art Garfunkel did play instruments.
Right. Yes, he wasn't the songwriter though. So exactly how well did he expect that to go? Anyway, he also called Paul Simon an asshole for not wanting to do a tour with him over quarantine.
Oh.
In 2020, in June of 2020. Dumbass.
Yeah.
Also, the drummer for the Foo Fighters passed away since our last podcast. I should probably mention that here. But yeah, so also we spent about 30 minutes. We were going to play Minecraft together during this podcast, but I set up a Minecraft room and Ben could not join. So that's it for games. For movies, I went to go see The Batman 3 times.
Oh, I also saw The Batman.
I liked it.
It was a bad movie.
That was great. I loved it. It was so good.
When he hit the bridge after flying off the cop car and fell on the ground and then just walked away, that was really funny.
Yeah. I liked it. It was darker, but also it wasn't rated R. I appreciated it. Like I also like it from a more corrupt morals type standpoint. Speaking of which, Corrupted Morals, excellent band. But I really enjoyed it. I went to go see it because I went to go see it with a couple of friends. I went to go see it with another friend because they hadn't gone to see it. I'm like, I'll tag along, sure. I also saw Jackass Forever twice in theaters as well. Because they did an extended run of that in theaters near here, so I went to go see that a couple times. That movie is so. They had a professional apparently the dude who currently has thrown the hardest punch ever measured. Punched, I think it was Steve-O in the dick. There was blood.
Okay.
No, seriously though, at some point, if we ever hang out, or you should just watch it. We should just watch this. At some point, if we ever hang out in person over the summer, we should watch it. It's still a classic Jackass. It's so good. The budget's not as high anymore because no one they've not done anything in years apart from Shark Week, but still, great video, great movie. And that's really been about it. I haven't watched anything else. And Ben, anything else to say before we end this podcast?
Well, yeah, I do. I actually have one thing to say, guys. So, we're always looking for viewer mail. So pretty much anything you normally use as a error message to somebody that for some reason can't get on Minecraft runs, send to Jenkins123, Jenkins123@gmail.com. That's right, Jenkins123, Jenkins123@gmail.com. And you may be featured in the next episode of the Waste of Time podcast. Fuck you and bye.
I gotta pause the podcast. All right, thank you so much for listening, and we are done.
What if I sharded? Oh!